And sometimes a house rule really tries to reflect something that actually happened on the battlefield, maybe just once or twice, but it's the way the rules are written just doesn't allow it to happen. Now, this is a situation where you could just write it for a specific scenario, or it could be a broadly applied house rule. Either way, today we're going to take a look at one of these tweaks to kind of make it possible for some of these historical accounts to actually be reflected on the tabletop. Let's go down and take a look. Hello, welcome to today's bolt action basic training video. Today's house rule is going to be a little longer than most because it's, I think, a little bit more of a, it's a larger rule package. Because one of the things, this is actually something I wanted to do for a while. Actually, shortly after I started playing the game. But as any new player to a game, you always find some rules that, you think should be a little different. And one really kind of bothered me quite a bit, and I just said, well, I'm just being one of those complainers, so I'm just not going to worry about it. But as the years went on, I started realizing, no, I think there's some validity to this, and especially after I saw a couple comments come up on the Bolt Action Facebook group. It gave me kind of that little nudge saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, the idea you've got, let's put it out there. I came, as you probably, if you don't already know, I came from a background in wargaming, back in the old hex maps, hex boards, and cardboard chits. One of my favorite games, Squad Leader. They had snipers. Snipers were a little bit of a bear. Now, they don't have the abilities in the current game that they have in real life. Now, I don't mean shooting. Shooting rules are fine. I don't have any complaints there. With a D6 system, it's perfectly adequate. Nothing wrong with it. But as far as the impact on the battlefield, I don't think it's truly representative, because there was in addition to the possibility of you being killed, by a sniper, and the threat of that, so we know where it is, you kind of avoid it. That's real. That's represented on the tabletop. And yes, the sniper doesn't always hit, so that's represented. You have to focus fire on it, to try to take them out. It's going to be hard to hit a small team that's usually in some sort of cover. It's represented well, but there's one aspect that just isn't there, and that's the fact that snipers are very stealthy, and the reality is they weren't always easy to spot. In fact, even after they fired, it wasn't always easy to find out where they were. Now, this is made worse, in my opinion, by the fact that the hidden rules in the game, as presented, allow anyone to shoot at the sniper and just hit him on sixes followed by sixes, including other snipers. But the other sniper doesn't have a cover penalty, so they can see and shoot, boom, just that quickly. That really isn't how it worked in real life. There was a cat and mouse game, especially in the cities in the Soviet Union, where German and Soviet snipers stalked each other, try to get the kill, right? Well, the hidden rules, the reason I didn't like them is they were called hidden, and yet you can see them and target and shoot and everything. But in Squad Leader, you had concealed. You had hidden was different than concealed. Concealed, the location was marked, but you don't really know what's there. Something's there. Maybe you can tell by disturbance. The foliage is disturbed. The windows have been busted out. The otherwise undamaged house, windows damaged, sandbags lining. You know that there's something there, possibly, because it could be a dummy position. Whereas hidden is literally secret. You don't know, and the other player doesn't put anything on the table except maybe writing down secretly which hex it's in. So to call hidden rules hidden in bolt action is a little bit too strong. It should be concealed. So with a big introduction, I want to kind of come up with this is actually in response to specifically snipers, hidden snipers, because I think we can enhance the game. Now, admittedly, there's a few more rules here, but they expand the existing hidden rules slightly, in my opinion. So let's see what you think. Hopefully, this is something that, as we discussed below in the comment section, you guys will share other ideas or tweaks, suggestions, and together we come up with a good rule set that reflects the reality of a hidden sniper that maybe will be able to be used by Warlord Games in a future edition. We'll see. But if not, I'll be using them in our local games here. You'll probably end up seeing this in an upcoming Clash of Heroes at some point. Alright, so let's start diving into the rule. Alright, so when it comes to hidden snipers, and we're only talking about snipers here, you'll need 4 little 25mm bases of work, but just markers. We'll call them sniper position markers, SPMs. Okay. The reason you need 4 of them, if you have a single sniper, is that you're not going to deploy your sniper on the table. You're going to deploy all 4 of your tokens. The tokens will be deployed as if it were the sniper unit, okay? And you'll place them during the appropriate time in the setup, whether it's part of the deployment or whether it's part of deploying after the forward deployers, right? Now, if you have a sniper that walks on the table, you don't get these extra ones, extra tokens, any tokens. Now, this also applies only when the hidden rules are in effect. So not every scenario will allow you to do this. With your opponent's permission, though, I feel, again for the house rule, that the sniper should always have the possibility of using hidden rules, hidden deployment. Okay. So how is it done? All right. During deployment of the sniper unit, instead of deploying the models down, you'll deploy all 4 of your SPM tokens. Put them in places that are cover. They have to be in cover, so that the opponent, even if they draw a line of sight, they're going through cover. So you can put this token behind a wall, maybe not a great position, but you could. And as long as no opponent's unit can draw a line of sight to the marker without crossing that wall, it stays put. Okay, so that's essentially how you can place your markers. The 4 markers will be essentially likely positions the sniper might be found, because when on the battlefield, most of the time you kind of knew a sniper was in the area, simply because word of mouth would get there. In that case, everyone was kind of on the lookout, and you kind of had an idea of where were the likely places a sniper might be, and you were kind of cautious of those areas. That's why there's 4 tokens, because now the opponent will be cautious of those 4 locations. Alright, so having deployed your SPM markers, now you can do your preparative environment if that comes into play on the game. In that case, you do not roll for each of the SPM markers. You only roll for the 1 sniper unit. And if it's in the... Ooh, that's a good point. Even if it's not in the deployment zone. Okay? Even if it's not in the deployment zone. Because remember, the preparative environment only affects units in the deployment zone. Well, if the sniper's not in there, then you automatically reveal kind of which of the SPM markers would qualify, right? That's a little dicey. So, go ahead. We'll consider if you're going to use this hidden sniper, it's a stray shell got close enough to maybe do something to the sniper. So you will apply pins appropriately there. Now, everything's deployed. You've got these SPM markers on the table, and the opponent needs to worry about where the sniper is. Now, as far as the hidden rules go, they pretty much cover how you discover a sniper, mostly. So you look at all those rules. Recce vehicles and infantry and artillery, if they get within 12 inches, they automatically can disclose a hidden unit. So if they get within 12 inches of an SPM marker, the opponent reveals whether the sniper's there or not. Same thing with vehicles that don't have recce. Within 6 inches, if they get within 6 inches, they do the same thing. If the sniper moves, then he's automatically revealed. I'll cover with what you do when you reveal at the end of the video. The one difference between the rules for that exist in the book for the hidden deployment and this sniper hidden deployment is that when the sniper fires, that doesn't automatically result in the disclosure of where the sniper is. That's the beauty of it. Instead, when the sniper fires, he simply makes a morale test with pins as necessary, right? Now, the neat thing is, as long as he makes his morale check, he stays hidden. If he fails his morale check, then he has disclosed his position because he did something. He moved where he shouldn't have. He leaned and before he took a shot, light reflected. Or anything could have happened, and he ended up losing his concentration enough that he disclosed his position. You reveal him as normal. Okay. Other than that, there is another way to reveal, and that is obviously just like in the hidden rules. If you score a hit on the marker or on the hidden unit, it's automatically revealed. Loses its cover bonuses, right? So, two exceptions here. One is in the case of any unit shooting at, they can choose any SPM marker, fire at it, hitting on using 9 impossible shot rule, 6 followed by 6. If they hit and the hit occurs, it is immediately disclosed and revealed whether it's a sniper or not. Now, a sniper, if he shoots at it, he is not automatically going to be able to tell. And yes, I know he's got a scope. He's looking through the scope. That's great, but remember, snipers are trying to remain hidden, right? They're being crafty, stealthy, clever. Snipers versus snipers was a thing in several of the urban areas, especially in the Eastern Front, and it was a cat and mouse game. So the sniper can fire, but he's going to need 6s followed by 6s. That's just the way it's going to be in this rule. However, he will also have the opportunity, if he wants, instead, to use a different rule, a rule we'll talk about in a second, to try to discover the sniper. Now, when it comes to HE firing, that's an interesting one because the HE will still target the position like normal. It picks an SPM marker as its target, ranges in just fine. So if the sniper really is there, the person doesn't have to worry about, well, do I move or do I not? However, because you don't know the exact position, what you're going to do is place this. When you place the position, it's assumed to be on the marker. You fire. If you hit, you assume the sniper team is down, so you're going to immediately have hits. So instead of doing 2, it's going to do one hit. Now the hit will be enough to discover whether it's a sniper position or a dummy position. But you resolve it, do the pins like normal if it was a sniper, reveal at that point. So HE is a good way to flush out the sniper, the position. But again, if you're picking the wrong spot, you're wasting your indirect fire shots. It was something that they had to make a decision in the real world. Now it's something you can make on the tabletop, right? The other one is the airstrike. I think the best thing to do is just say you cannot target with an airstrike. It's from a cost-benefit perspective in real life, they're just not going to waste an airstrike on a possible position. They're going to go for a known position. So you cannot pick an SPM marker, just like you couldn't pick a hidden unit to be a target of an airstrike. Okay. Now, let's look at how the other way to reveal the sniper. 2 ways. First, the sniper fires. It's not an automatic reveal. Instead, the sniper has to make a morale test. Now, if he does have pins because of a preparative environment or anything like that, he'll have to take those into account, just like he had to take them into account when he shot. Once you make the roll, if it's the sniper made a successful roll, he remains hidden. If he failed it, that means he had lost his nerve, he messed up a bit, and he revealed his position. So you reveal him as you would under any other condition. Now, the other way to reveal it is by having the opponent declare trying to spot the sniper. Now, this will be done by giving a unit that has line of sight to an SPM marker either an advance, a rally, or an ambush order. At that point, you put the order on them. If it was an advance, you can make your 6-inch move, or 9 in the case of a, or 12 in the case of a vehicle. Make whatever advance move is appropriate. And at that point, you select a single SPM within 36 inches and declare that you're searching to find out if it is the sniper. Now, since you don't know, it's going to be a competitive roll-off. So regardless of whether the sniper is there or not, the sniper team will roll a morale check. And so will the spotting team. Now what you'll do is you'll subtract out pins like normal, taking into account rules for missing the NCO, stubborn, being within range of an officer. All those morale bonuses apply here. Make the morale checks and determine how much you made your morale check by. So if the sniper failed his morale check, regardless of what the spotting unit did, immediately you're going to make a reveal on the marker that was selected by the unit to spot. So either if the sniper was there, you're going to have to reveal the sniper. If it wasn't, you'll just take that one SPM marker off the table and say, nope, that's not where he is. And then that ends that particular turn. Now, if the sniper made his morale check, the spotting unit must make his morale check by more than what the sniper made it. So if the sniper made it by 2, like a veteran sniper with no pins makes a morale test, makes it by 2, rolls an 8. The infantry squad, or the squad that's trying to spot it, must at that point beat their morale check requirements by 3. Okay, at least 3. So a regular unit had a morale of 9 with a pin on it, makes 8, minus 3. They're going to have to roll a 5 or less to spot that, to reveal that one marker. So it is entirely possible that you're not going to be able to tell, but it is also possible you could. That's one way to do it. Now, the other way is to charge. You can charge that SPM marker as if it was a unit, and you just move into contact, and at that moment the reveal is made. There's no chance of hiding. You're either there or not. If it is the sniper position, it is always going to be considered simultaneous, but at least you found out where the sniper was, or you found out it was a dummy position. Okay. All right, so those are the ways to reveal the position. And again, each time you try to spot, you are sort of wasting that unit's action, but when it came down to snipers, that's how snipers pin down enemy units. They presented a real threat and forced other units to be cautious and try to search out that particular sniper to deal with them. This, I think, reflects it well on the tabletop. Just read any of the accounts of units as they face snipers and how much it slowed them down. And that slowing down of the opponent is, I think, where this particular house rule has some merit. Again, that's why I'm offering this one up. All right, so let's talk about how do you actually reveal the model. So let's go ahead and take a look at the table and just I'll show you how it happens. All right, so here we go. We've got a pretend it's in terrain. We have a SPM. Look, just again, 25 mil base will work just fine. And when it comes time to deploy your revealed sniper, because they did find the right location, you will place it on this so that it's touching. The 2 units are within an inch of each other. So you place one model down. It's best to just let it overlap the base a bit, and it can be as close as you want, whatever. But it has to be touching or actually just overlapping the base, so you keep the 1 inch gap rule satisfied. And now the units are on the table. You take off this SPM marker that marked them and all the other SPM markers that are on the table. The key here is now it's treated like another unit. There is no enhanced cover bonus or anything. There are regular units on the table. So let's talk about what if you have multiple platoons and multiple snipers. All right, now This rule can be used in case of multiple platoons where you have multiple snipers, or special selectors that give you the opportunity to use multiple sniper teams. In that case, for each sniper team you have, you will get 4 SPM markers. That's going to be a lot of SPMs on the table. Now, think about it in terms of when you're trying to place these. Look at buildings, for example. If you've got a building with multiple floors, or it's big enough to have multiple rooms on a single floor, you can place them, in plenty of places then. But if it's otherwise a sparser terrain, it is possible that you won't be able to place some of those SPMs, and that's entirely fine. All right, so regardless of the number of SPMs you've deployed, because again, maybe you couldn't deploy all 8 in the case of a 2-sniper platoon. Let's say you can only use 6. Regardless of whether it's 6 or 8, regardless of that, and regardless of how many have already been discovered during the game, as soon as you reveal a position of 1 sniper, you do not need to reveal any other SPMs if there's another hidden sniper still. It's when the last hidden sniper is revealed on the table when you get rid of all the SPMs. So it makes it that much more challenging when you have multiple snipers, which is just the way it should be if you read the accounts that, again, whether it's in France or whether it's in the Soviet Union, this is the reality faced by the armies when they fought against snipers and they didn't quite know where those snipers were. So let's go ahead and discuss this below. What do you guys think about this as a possible way to deal with making hidden snipers a little more of an impact on the battlefield? If not by actually hitting things, but at least by throwing that caution on the opponent. Okay? Entirely up to you whether you want to use it or not. Like I said, you'll probably see us use this in the Clash of Heroes campaigns, probably in a couple seasons. I don't think we're actually start doing this one until we really get past the North African campaigns. Alright, thanks a lot. Please show and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.